Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Talk Tissue. Today, we are very excited to talk to Troy Miller, who is the National Sales Manager for Nash Runtech for the Pulp and Paper Division for North America. Troy, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. We're glad to have you on this segment and look forward to learning more about your company. How are you today?
Great. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for inviting me to this. This is awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we can do this. You know, in the era of COVID and cancellations of shows, this format exists for this exact purpose, to give us more of a platform, to give more of a platform to companies such as yours, to expose it more and to get it more out there so people have an everyday opportunity to see your face and to get to know your company. So the first things first, I wanted to kind of go over your company, maybe a little bit about the history and some of the naming that you have. Your shirt says Runtech, and as I presented you as Nash Runtech. Can you walk us through some of your history and then some of the name history as well and who you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. I started my career out of the Navy with the company Nash Engineering in the pulp and paper vertical located out of Florida, and been in that position, started inside sales to outside sales. And then the company kind of changed. And so at that point, I had decided to leave and spent 21 years with Voith on the fabric side and the capital equipment side. So a couple of years back, about 3 years back, my boss, Doug Sweet at the time, from my old boss back in the Nash days, he had called me and asked, say, hey, there's a great opportunity because Nash has, or Gardner Denver at the time, had bought a company called Runtech out of Finland.
Okay.
And this company was kind of a small company, but they were growing by leaps and bounds. A lot of ex-paper makers, especially from the Valmet side, so being so close to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so a pretty vibrant company run by a guy named by Jukka Lehto, who was also in the pulp and paper industry, a really strong leader. And so they were trying to grow that market. In Europe, it was actually growing by leaps and bounds, just because of all the energy and the water restrictions going on over there and the flexibility of the system and the entire solution that they brought to the table. So I was brought on board to kind of run that vertical, bring Runtech here to the North America, and then try to grow that business alongside with Nash liquid drink pumps, which has been well known over 100 years in the market, tried and true, great name. And so trying to grow the brands together, because now it brought two distinct different type of backgrounds together, and brought a lot of different solutions that Nash used to have but didn't have into the new vertical.
Okay. So the combination of all these companies has brought us to today where, you know, Runtech North America now is a fully integrated company, and as you say, offers custom solutions to the industry, and not only in North America but really worldwide. But your responsibility being North America, I guess, what are some of the services you want to go into? Some of the services that Runtech can offer the North American market for those customers that may be watching.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we're really kind of a one-stop shop at this point, because now we can actually go in and visit customers. And before, we were really kind of in what we call in the basement, just looking really at the aftermarket business, some new projects that came along, swapping liquid ring pumps out. Now we actually go into customers and understand what their pain points are, where they're trying to grow, what vision they have to go forward. And then we can actually audit the machine, not just from a vacuum perspective, from a paper machine perspective, because we not only use vacuum pumps and turbos to pull vacuum, but we have other solutions that allow us to actually measure the amount of water coming off the machine real time, and then use things like doctors and save-alls to optimize the paper machine, like your vacuum system, to find your sweet spot for that particular machine. So we have the ability now to go in and measure all that and audit all that and come up with kind of a short-term, long-term solution, even with their existing equipment, because we realize not everybody has the capital to put in brand new machines, but we kind of build that short-term, long-term plan for them. And then we have some other areas of expertise that helps the runnability of the machine, and that's where kind of Runtech name came from, the runnability and the technical aspect to make machines more efficient across the board. So we are into ropeless tail threading, which causes in some cases a lot of downtime.
Sure.
If you don't have a good system to thread. And then we're into web stabilization and some other areas in the dryer section.
Okay. And how is your organization set up in the US? Do you have a headquarters? Is everyone kind of regionally based? How are you going after customers and servicing them?
Yeah, great question. Corporate office here is actually in Davidson, North Carolina, and then the Nash organization is really located out of the Pittsburgh area called Bentleyville.
Okay.
We have personally, I have 5 direct guys right now that report directly to me, but then we use our network of regional sales managers that cover all the other Nash businesses out there across the board, like general industrial, chemical, things like that. So we really utilize them, as well as we have 10 manufacturers reps spread throughout. So we really work as closely as a team and collaborate across the board on doing all that to make sure that we provide the best solutions and timeliness of audits and response time, because we're very big on trying to increase the speed at which we do things.
And one of the difficulties about our industry is how spread out these tissue mills are across the country, right? And they're usually in locations that are very hard to get to, kind of away from major cities. So you kind of have to have this web structure of having manufacturers reps spread throughout the country, so you have quick access to these mills. So it does pose a challenge sometimes, but I think in this era of advanced technology and digital services, and even some companies have glasses so you can check into machinery and tap into machinery. So that aspect is getting a little easier. As far as your selection about being headquartered in North Carolina, was that a strategic decision? Was that something that was already in place? Something that we've talked about a lot about on our segments is the shift that's happening in the pulp and paper and tissue industry from like Green Bay, then the Midwest to the Southeast. Is that something that you've seen as well? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ingersoll Rand was already located in Davidson, and obviously they're in a multitude of different industries.
Yeah, absolutely.
So their decision to get really deeper into pulp and paper has been more of a strategic thing. Obviously, the South and Southeast is the bulk of where the biggest paper manufacturers are today. Even though you've got a lot of mills spread out, they're usually smaller, and you've got some concentrations throughout the country.
Sure.
But the Southeast is, and that's one of the reasons I'm located here, because it's, like as you said, it's a vast territory. So flying in and out of Charlotte's pretty simple.
Yeah, and short drives to major paper mills, anywhere you are in Charlotte. I think Charlotte is really becoming the centralized area for all of that. So so that's very strategic, very good choice. You obviously have a lot of extensive experience in our industry. It's not every day that we get to feature someone like yourself on our program. How have you seen, the industry change in the time that you've been in the industry? What are some highlights that you can take away of growth? What are some things that you're seeing changing from maybe 20, 30 years ago that many people may not know about?
Yeah, it's been a kind of exciting career, because like you said, it's been kind of up and down, ebbs and flows of, we had a period of time where the pulp and paper market in general was just on a huge decline, not putting many machines, not dumping money into the existing machines.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Now we're seeing a big uptick to that for a variety of reasons, but mainly in packaging and linerboard and the tissue industry. So that's been exciting to see. Probably the biggest thing that I've been seeing is you're starting to see a lot of the 50 plus starting to age out and retire. And it's good to see younger people coming into the industry, which you hadn't seen for quite some time. You see a lot more internships that companies are pushing, and you're starting to see that. So that's great to see. But one of the biggest things is that as the people are aging out, the new ones are coming in, is the lack of transfer of knowledge. So
I agree with you.
This point of what we're trying to do with our vertical really fits in well, because now we can provide that expertise where most of our competition is really just a widget seller. So
I
we're
agree.
more of a solution seller, and then we can actually train those people on site to, hey, this is what you need to look for. Here's kind of a laundry list, to maybe a checklist to do monthly, and
Sure.
just bring those up and then build those relationships.
Yeah, no, I like that you mentioned Runtech's, or your company's focus on people. I think that will go a long way if you really focus on the people, train the people, and show them that you really care. I mean, you're going to gain a customer for life there. So
Yeah.
no, I think that's wonderful. Let's get back to Runtech really quick, and how was 2021 for you, and what do you see coming forward in 2022? Any projects we should know about? Anything exciting that we should be talking about?
Yeah, it's been pretty positive year for us. I mean, it's a lot of people are, the mills are starting to spend a lot more money into projects, and
Yeah.
we do have one project going into Canada that we're in the bid for a
Okay.
new tissue machine. So it's I'm excited because even on the linerboard side, I know we're talking tissue,
Mm-hmm.
that is really ramping up as well, and all the work that we've poured into, because when COVID hit, everything we do is face to face, so
Mm-hmm.
really hindered what our focus was, to be in front of customers. And so, our strategy that we put into place is really starting to pay off.
Sure. And I like that you say, we're talking about tissue today, but really our program focuses on all aspects of paper and just kind of the industry in general. So I appreciate you bringing that up. You're going to be at any shows in 2022 that we should find you at?
I believe we are going to be at Tissue World coming up, and then they always do, because that's, we get more folks from South America that come to that more than North America. So that's been a growing market that I don't specifically deal with, but I help, especially in Mexico.
Sure.
And we've got a gentleman from Runtech Finland that covers that. So that's a big one for us.
Okay. Yeah, I know nowadays, I mean, these markets are just kind of merging together. Latin America has just kind of blended in to North America, and whatever some plants are doing here is now being replicated in South America as well, and in Mexico, Central America. Sounds good. I thank you. Thank you so much, Troy, for your time today. I appreciate, all the information and knowledge you've been able to share with us. We look forward to hearing more from Runtech. Every month on Tissue Online, you'll be seeing a press release from Runtech about their latest and greatest and what they have to feature. I'm sure Troy would be more than happy to hear from any tissue machine manufacturers, tissue product manufacturers as well. Talk to him about audits, talk to him about what they have to offer. Go to their website. We'll put their website on the bottom of our page here. Troy, thank you so much for the time today.
Great. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye.